Good morning, guys. It's time for a 1510 rapid game. Rated 1544. And I've got a 9-7 against the 1600. So we're going to play e4. Obvs. And we're getting into a Smith-Morra now. I've not had, well, we'll see. I've not had maximum success with the Smith-Morra recently. So we're going to take our time. It's kind of early. It's 7:30 in the morning. All right, now I know all this is all theory. So d6, e6, a6 are very normal. We just develop our bishop, targeting this. Okay, no, we're not really worried about this at all. We always just drop back to b3. So now I can go ahead and castle. Out comes the knight, and so bishop g5 is a thought. What happens if I push here? They take, or takes and takes. I can then force the queen. I think it's e5. e5, if they take, we can trade queens. Now I am a pawn down, but he's just undeveloped his knight. Or do I just continue developing and do this? I think it's a case of getting the rook over, at least one rook over. If not this one over there. I think if the queen ever goes to c7, we do that. Okay. Alright, I think I'm just going to carry on with this. I'd imagine this was still in book here at move 9, but we shall find out. Okay, now, this is a fork. Pawn cannot take because the queen falls. Okay, so I fork you. You're going to move the knight. It's just got to be played. I don't know what's going to happen next, but knight goes here or here, we win material. Because we've got two attackers on both of those squares. Ah. Well, yes. Bugger. Because my knight's pinned, isn't it? And now he's got two attackers on here. Cock. That was silly. Now I'm 2 pawns down. I have castled at least, but if I take the pawn, it's not pretty. Can't lift my rook to defend that knight. I don't really know what to try here. Ah, dear oh dear. Too early in the morning. And I've just walked into this as well. Actually, it's not that bad because the pawn is actually pinned. The whole d-file is technically pinned, so I'm threatening this with check. Like, you take my knight, I take the check. Since Darius 25 is in the USA, which means it's late. It's between 11:30 and 2:30 in the morning. So we're hoping Darius 25 has had a couple of beers. Yeah, not my finest hour, this. The knight is pinned, therefore it's not defending that square. If I'd have taken the knight, I'm slightly down, and then this is still... Hang on. There. Takes. 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 Knight takes. That maybe not too bad, actually. I take knight. I take queen. I'd already pre-moved that recapture anyway. So now he's got an issue. Right. I take here and queen takes. I get that pawn back. Then he's got two attackers on here. I take here, bishop takes, nothing gained. I pin the knight. This is still not too much of a risk. If I pin the knight, he's not going to take. If he just does this. There, and bishop takes. No, this is not good. What do I have here? That defends this pawn, kind of attacks there. He's going to want to bring his bishop out. I've pinned this pawn now as well. I've also got three attackers on it, in it. I'm just going to have to fight, guys. Fight for something. I'm 2 pawns down, and I've got a very exposed king. What I do have, though, is relatively active bits. Well, that doesn't scare us, does it? Check. Could win 3 pawns for a knight. Is it worth it? But these are the 3 pawns. There. Queen blocks is then forced. No, I don't have rook e1. There, queen takes check. Forced takes. Not convinced. I really feel like I want to engage my other rook as well. I think my only hope here is to bring everyone to the party. This is possible. I'm not in a great mood though, I confess. Another horror in the mortar, in the making. Now takes, and he's lost castling rights. Takes, queen on here. He can't castle. I've got no knight. I'm likely to win this pawn. I think I'm just going to have to roll the dice on this one. I'm going on a hunch here. Just hung that pawn. This is defended twice, but attacked 3 times. Maybe I need to lift my king. Yeah. Can't come back there and attack that because of the knight. Is it going to be back here then? Still the bishop's pinned, but now he can castle. That's the annoying thing. There's no checks. can't say I'm happy. I can't say I'm happy. Let's save the bishop. This knight's now effectively pinned. So I could try and bully the knight away, because it's the only thing standing in the way of checkmate. Is my opponent going to fall for that? No, because Darius has not had a beer tonight. Takes, checkmate is a bit of a help me Obi-Wan Kenobi moment. He's probably just going to trade down. He's 3 pawns up. He's all over me like a rash. And now his bishops are getting very active, so I think we can safely resign this one. I'm going to have a look though, because I think, look, this is most important. This is why we're all here, isn't it? We're all here to learn. Please, chess.com. Look, if you're going to put up these little comments, like the first chess computer, the mechanical Turk was a bloke hiding in a box, can't you come up with more than about 5 of them? Because it's really not that useful. Okay, one blunder. Okay, let's go through it. Smith-Morra gambit. We've gambited a pawn, but we have much more activity. Interesting. So it's saying bishop here. And the idea is that is focusing all the pressure on that. Okay. I need to study the Smith-Morra. I need to study it more. Here again it's saying kick the bishop. Don't give him a moment to rest. And this is just a blunder. Yeah, because he did that. Alright. Right, we'll knock that one on the head and we'll try again. I'm 1537. That is the end of my wee winning streak. Okay. Alright, that's what we're going to get. What are we going to get? A French. Yuck. And I'm going to play a Dima Dum Gambit because it's the first thing that came into my head. Now this is really a blitz weapon. It's not for rapid at all. However, I have won over the board against a small child. But in a competitive game. The whole point here is to keep a pawn on d5 guarding this square. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. What's his idea? Is it to come in here? Well, he can't bring the knight in there. So I'm thinking this. Pins the knight. Allowing me to threaten that. Okay. Now if I take this, what happens? The bishop's undefended. The bishop captures here, I just win it. In it. See, that move is 4.7 seconds from black. My games have been really all over the place at the moment. I've been playing lots of 5-minute blitz, and sometimes I'm playing at 1200 level and sometimes I'm playing at 1900 level. Quite a few games well above my rating. So I really feel like my blitz rating, I ought to be able to get to 1600, which I've never been. I've been 1599, I think, is my peak. I ought to be able to get to 1700 with discipline. And this is a problem now, because the knight's pinned. So capturing with the knight is not an option. Ooh. Good move. Defending both pieces at once. takes, pawn takes. But he's all over himself at the minute. Hang on. If I take here, the knight is defending both, but it can't actually recapture both. I take there, queen takes, loses. I take there, knight takes, loses a piece. So it's got to be pawn takes. And then what if this? Check. Forced. Maybe develop the bish. This pawn's well defended. It's defended twice. Is this a move worth playing? There. This move is forced. Bishop here, targeting h6. It's got to be, hasn't it? He hasn't got time to fork with the pawns. But I then do need to do something like this. Or I might just take out the bishop, actually. So king here, take out the bishop, knight takes. Then I don't have bishop d3. Because knight guards that square. I don't know why he's thinking so hard. Okay. This surely doesn't work, does it? Also, my king's still in the middle of the board. So maybe it's actually this now. Leave the knight there, but then that walks into the fork. Do I do this? Let's say he wants to push the pawn anyway. I've got that. So any of these moves. This kind of... Does it pin the pawn if he pushes? I trade queens. That's not good for me, because I'm the one attacking here. Come on. Here then? Pushes, I have this. So I'm threatening like bishop d3. I don't want the knight on this square. Bishop d3, take him out. He can't recapture because he gets mated. So this is what you get for thinking through your moves a bit more in the opening. Like we saw in the last game with the Smith-Morra, I just cut my thinking short, if you can call it thinking. Right? And I got into a bad position within 10 moves. My opponent here has done similar. So I just lost 7 points on the other game. If I can convert this game, I get my 7 points back. And okay. I'm kind of just inclined to dodge here. Don't think I want to block with the knight. But then I still have this. But then... It's a good bishop though, isn't it? I mean, it's his only useful piece. Here, he trades off. What's he got? He can take... No, he's got to be worse. I'm still going to have bishop d3. No one's taking that away from me. If I move the king, I've lost castling rights. Okay, I'm gonna trade the knight off if he wants it. I have this. Then f5. Then I can come in with a knight because g. Okay, yeah. But that's an issue though, because that then takes away f5. He doesn't have f5 anymore. Okay, that's well defended. And now I'm actually threatening to castle. Well, I'm threatening checkmate. It's the main problem. Okay, now bishop takes. Rook takes. I've even got queen takes. Or I could just castle. Bishop takes, I'm threatening mate. And how does he prevent it? This is the question. King here takes king here. Or even queen there as well. Queen there, he's got this, which he doesn't have in the case of bishop takes f5. Bishop takes f5, rook takes, maybe queen takes, or simply castle. But no, that gives him time to move the knight. Okay, so I'm thinking it's bishop takes, actually. Mate is threatened. Oh, you bugger. Right, yeah. Well done. That's a good move. I think it's back here then, isn't it? Or here. Bishop takes, queen takes. I'd like to get castled in the next turn. And also, yeah, let's defend the knight with the queen still. I think if I can just castle here, he can deflect the queen away, which he really should do. I mean, this is an undeveloped piece taking out an extremely threatening piece. As soon as I can castle, I'm fine because both knights are free. Okay, I castle, you ain't taking the knight with the queen. I castle, you take this one, I recapture. And I'm threatening either rook coming to e1. So we played a tricky gambit. My opponent did not fall into the normal line, but by the way, I have an insane hit rate, strike rate with this gambit. Okay, I'm actually a pawn down. But what's happened is we've got into playing chess, which is cool. There. Now let's say I move the knight, it's actually mate in two. Because rook takes, and I get mated. So I've got to be a bit careful. Neither of my knights can actually guard this square either. That's not defended, that's not defended, that's not oh it is, it's defended by the queen. I have the much safer king. Queen here. Attacks that pawn and that pawn. Undefended, undefended. The queen's actually quite busy here. She's the only defender of 4 things. Let's kick the bishop away. Here. Don't think we're going to be attacking the king anytime soon because I've got no bishops and my rooks are currently indisposed, so I'm going for this idea. I don't see how he can defend both pawns, but let's see. Knight on there would do it, but the knight can't get there. And I am a pawn down. The big bonus is this missing pawn here. And the fact that he's got doubled pawns, he's got isolated pawns. If I can constrain this bishop, we might be doing alright. Can he defend them both with the queen? No, that doesn't work. Can't put the queen there, can't put the queen there. I'd love to get my pawn back. I think if I can win my pawn back and maybe trade off his bishop, I ought to be in a slightly better position. Queen has to defend that as well. That's the other issue. So, not going to pronounce this guy's name. CZ Lowiek. Bulka from Poland, by the look of it. I don't understand. No, I don't understand. I've also got a check here as well now. Okay, he's defending the knight. I have a check. And the only legal moves are these. There's quite a few actually. Do I chuck in the check? Queen blocks isn't viable because I think we just chuck in the check and see what happens. This is the most natural look. Okay, so he's blocked with the pawn. Right, this pawn is defended twice. Now what about this move? That's nice. Hits the bishop, hits the queen, hits the pawn. Hangs the knight. There. Queen takes knight. Just do this. See, now that the rook isn't backed up with the queen, there's no double capture on the back rank. What if I hit his knight? He just comes here. Just do this. Hang on, there. He takes my knight, I take his bishop. I still maintain the pin on the pawn. There, you take knight, I take bish. We've equalised material. Oh, he's got threat of that, but queen defends. Or do I just move the knight, try and improve it somehow? I mean, this is nice, isn't it? That's quite handy. What's that? I'm thinking this move. That was nearly 2 minutes. It was 1 minute 59.1 seconds, I think. It's good to think. Okay. Alright, improving move. He's brought his rook into the game. That blocks the attack, hits the queen. What's he going to do? The queen's undefended. And if I can capture the queen, I have a continuity. Here. I attack your queen. But then it's takes, takes, takes. That's the problem. It's an in-between move with check. I have this attacking the pawn. I'm attracted to this move. What if he just attacks the knight? Well, I can take the bishop. If he takes me, I take back, win an exchange here. That's 2 attackers on the bishop. It's got to be a good thing. Let's see what else he's got. I also have this attack as well. You take my queen, I take yours, and hit the rook. There. You take my queen, I take your queen. It's the only kind of threat. But here, so he just moves the queen out of the way. I'm under 6 minutes now. This pawn is defended twice currently. That's defended. I could have just won a pawn then. I could have just won the pawn. Yeah. I failed to spot, just failed to take note of all the things that had changed. Okay, I take queen, you take queen. I take pawn, so bishop. Or I just take this knight. I take knight, rook takes knight. I take bishop. Oh, I don't know. Which is the most aggressive piece of the knight and the bishop? I can have either of them. This one literally hangs. This one's attacked twice, defended once. Either way, I'm still attacking his queen. So if I take this, his queen is under attack. Therefore, does he have to take the knight with the rook? I take, rook takes. I don't have this because everything's looking. I think I need. I'm going to take out the bishop. I'm going to take out the bishop. I think on a board like this, the bishop is the danger piece. Okay, now there is a pawn, which leaves him with 4 pawns, all of them isolated. And I'm up a pawn, and I'm attacking his rook. Or I can just trade queens. I think it's the pawn. Oh no, he hung the knight. I only just saw that in the light. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he had to trade the queens first. That was a blunder. Oh wow, goodness. Okay, not my finest game. But Slovak played really well. Slovak. Yeah, but I mean, look, this is all right. My worst was -2, so let's have a quick look. Now, the computer despises all of this, right? So, the idea, like I say, with this one, if you want to play this in blitz or whatever, the idea is you're always keeping a pawn on d5. Okay, so let's just go back. Okay, so the demodum, you push. You want a pawn on there. They take. So here, if they take, you take. Your queen still defends the pawn, so queen can't take. Most common move here is going to be knight here. Oops. In which case, you always just bring your knight out. If they bring their knight out, you bring your knight out. And at some point, they think, aha. Right? And then you go, aha. Forking the bishop and the king. And the point is, with this on here, the only move that can block the check and defend the bishop would be knight c6, and they can't do it because of your pawn on there. That's basically the thing. Okay. Okay, so we are worse. It says that was premature. Queen d2. Best move. Yeah. So this is the problem. He's defending both pieces, like we said, but he can't recapture both pieces. So we take that one. Best move. Best. Okay. Taking out the bishop. Long castles! Wow. Again, long castles. Wow, so this threatens checkmate. Okay, so it's saying trade first and then knight f6, okay. Best move, good. 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 Not so good. Yeah, so this is just normal queen fork. Yeah, and you get that from the goldfish, you know. Well, goldfish. So what do I mean? I mean, pretend you've got no memory at all. Just say what defends what on the board. I noticed here that the queen is the only defender of a bunch of things, like this, and this, are defended only by the queen. Rooks defend each other, queen defends rook, blah, blah, blah. King defends that, okay? This is the relationship of defenses. And maybe you'd like highlight, you know, the only defender things. But when you say, oh, look, these are both undefended, you say, well, can I attack both of those in one go? Well, I can. And lo and behold, it's the best move. And we're equal. Snatch the pawn. Okay, now this is the move we did play here. And now it says, no, you don't want to do it there. You silly fish. This move I liked. Yeah, should have traded queens. And that's it. So, what have we achieved? Nothing. We've lost 7 points, won 7 points, but we've had fun playing chess. That's what's important. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. See you soon.